All rise.
Psalm 127:3. Children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from Him. This suggests children are a precious gift from God to be valued and cared for.
In the United States, a child a minute is taken into DHS, CPS, and so on custody. The reality is their pics are already selected, you just don't know it. Being perfect no longer matters. It's what the adopting families are looking for.
Who is it stealing the children, you ask?
From caseworker to the White House, the buck stops at all levels, just not where it is supposed to be. The services your family needs, we the people have paid for to ensure your reunification. Title IV says, reunify at all costs. United, we stand means nothing to us when it comes to family values. Children are being ripped away from their families. Parents are reverting to addictive behaviors to cover the pain. The trauma caused by child removal is just being recognized, and the results are atrocious. Termination of parental rights is not healthy for anyone, just profitable for the people enforcing the line.
It's time Washington listens to the cries of our children, the wails of their mothers, and the rage growing in the fathers. These are our children. Keep your damn hands off them. We are coming to act on the behalf of the children God gave us to protect, and you kidnapped.
They are taking our kids every day. A child a minute, no one has a thing to say for those who have been isolated. Don't be worried, you have a voice today. So listen up everyone, here is the story. Child Protective Services is real. CPS is what they call it. They want our kids because it fills a lot of people's wallet. We all think it won't be us. We say when they come we will be so tough. It all sounds good when there's no one to take them. But when they come, your voice gets to breaking. Stay calm, step away. CPS ain't taking no one today. We are educated. Stay calm, step away. CPS, you need to leave. I know the tricks up your sleeves. You can't do what you're trying to do. We have done our homework. Don't do a damn thing without a warrant. You no longer will steal our kids this way. Tiff and the Punisher have come for the calling. They are giving us the CPS warning. Their voice is loud and clear. We stop losing our kids this year. Tiff wants to fight the entire planet. She is tired of our kids being taken, god damn it. She's been fighting CPS for 30 years, bringing children home from this disgusting mess. The Punisher is screaming out loud, abolish CPS and tear it down. I want all our kids to come back. Look at all those kids' pictures held up like thin tags. Together we are stronger than we need. We will tear down CPS with high speed. We will do so much being together. Birds of a feather flock together. So watch out CPS, here we come. Picking you one by one. We promise to bring back the family and prosecute the caseworkers unhandily. So give us back the kids you have taken. Tiff and the Punisher sending you all on a vacation. The one with bars in the windows and the only games you play are on Nintendos. Corruption in courts, here we come. We won't stop until it's done. You judges need to learn what you stand for. This is Tiff and the Punisher warrior, and we cry out to all of you out there. We need support for a cause that many don't care. All children are being stolen way too often. So CPS, we plan on doing the stuff.
We're talking. Woo! Oh, damn. I'm sliding in. Coming in hot. What's up, Tiff?
Not much.
Oh, you can hear me. Good.
Yeah, I can hear you.
What, how's the babies, first and foremost?
Oh, they're good now. They're in the room with Papa. I have to hide.
We got Taco Tuesday is solved. Here's the question. Is he going to like tacos again?
Well, yeah, he ate the rest of the taco meat last night for dinner.
Oh, boy.
Or no, that was spaghetti. He ate it for lunch that yesterday.
So you recycled the taco meat into spaghetti sauce?
Oh, no. There was more left over. So I wanted to see if he would eat it. So I fixed it and he ate it. And then for dinner, he had spaghetti and meatballs.
So you tricked him.
Yeah, he was fine.
All right. Well, that's good. I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't want to thing like tacos to be ruined for such a young kid like him. You know, that's a damn good food to grow up on, and to lose that at such an age would be horrid. You know,
Especially when that's the only meat he really likes.
you know what I'm saying? Like, what's your one thing? What's your thing that you had when you were younger? You ate something that was just completely destroyed everything that you thought about food. You're just like, nope, never again did I touch it because something happened to you.
Well, actually, I can tell it wasn't even when I was young. The older one got the neurovirus, right?
Oh boy.
I'm taking care of him. And I guess I didn't wash my hands good enough because 24 hours later, I had it and I had just eaten cheese potatoes. I will not
Oh
eat
no.
cheese potatoes right now. I know it used to be my favorite.
Oh, that's it. Always seems to be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine is
Still eat them.
yeah, mine's cinnamon.
Oh, I
I
love
can't do cinnamon.
cinnamon.
I used to love it. Mine necessarily wasn't a childhood thing, but maybe one New Year's Eve a little more hot damn than should have had. And I haven't touched cinnamon in 20 something years now. I smell it and it makes me gag. I can't even take the smell. But there's so many good things that are made out of cinnamon. You know, like I love coffee cakes. Can't have a coffee cake because it got cinnamon. You know, oh, it's horrid. But hey, I don't know if you caught our show last night, but we actually had a real, true CPS worker on the show.
So let's see some clips.
Oh Jesus Christ! You just want to get right to it, huh? You just want to see
Oh,
the action.
oh yeah. And I want
All
to go
right.
on with her next because I'm gonna call her out on some bullshit.
Yeah, well, we got to be nice. We got to be cool and calm and collective to get the information. Um, we get more bees with honey than we do with brake fluid, right? Like that's the saying. I don't know what it really is, but what is it? Get
You
more
catch
bees.
more you catch more flies with honey than vinegar.
Yeah, which I don't even know if that's true or not either, because I feel like they like the vinegar. But I'm just saying. But yeah. So I mean, here's my approach is that she after my first look at her and talking with her, I believe that she is 85% genuine. Um, I believe that she is true to when she says that she's out there to help the kids, and I do believe that she doesn't see things the way that we see it. I don't think she looks at her position or her job like we look at it. You know, one, we're a loaded gun. All of us are a loaded gun when we deal with these people because they took our kids, rightfully so. That's our enemy. You know, that's our public enemy number one is the caseworker. You know, no hands down. You know, like, God forbid. You know, that's all I'm saying is God forbid. You know, there's a good thing there's a gap between the TV and the people. You know what I'm saying sometimes? But, you know, and that's not a threat to anybody. That's just saying for my own anger issues, I'm just saying I would flip out and so on. But, you know, so it's very hard to keep control. And it was, I'm not going to lie, it was hard for me to keep control with her, especially when she was saying that they weren't doing anything with the funding. You know, like there's no bonuses, there's no this, and there's no that. Because we know, I mean, our research doesn't lie. I mean, we've all researched it to the cows come home. You know, we know what we read, we know what we find, and we all are probably better versed at this than they are. I mean, this is all we do. You go ahead and look at Facebook Messenger at night, you could tell who lost their kids to CPS because all the green dots are going ding, 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 right down that messenger. And it is. That's all it is people talking about losing their kids. That's all it is, you know? Um, so we all sit around, we powwow together, we figure this out. So I think talking with this woman, she gave us some valuable information. She gave us this thing called an MDA. I think it was an MDA report. That's the report that they actually have to go by to get you when they first come and investigate you to get that degree of abuse and neglect on you. That's what they have to go by is this MDA report. So a whole written out list of things that they have to check off and check on. I mean, that can be huge for us to, especially like in my quest for void ab initio, because now we have a standard that they have to go by to call you an abuser. Like they literally before we were all talking like they just come to your house, they look at you, they're making up these decisions. But this woman's just told us that they have a list, and we've got the list. Like this is huge, so we'll put that up in a second. But you know, and I get it. I know everybody wants to just come in there full blown and tear her head off, but and I probably get a lot of heat on this, but I mean, I really think that we should show her a little bit of love and and meaningful love, not just bullshit. And I bet you we get a lot more information out of her that's more beneficial to us than if we attacked her. And I'm not being like all pro CPS or anything like that. I'm just talking about this woman as a person and as an employee doing a job that we all hate. That's all I'm saying about that. But otherwise, if you want, kick our ass. Whatever. I
Yeah.
mean, go for it.
Well, don't worry, because the first thing I'm going to ask her is, do you understand as Trump is coming for you?
Right. Well, that's kind of what Gunner had broken into. Let me pull this up here.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, we could go back and look at this because it was interesting. It was good. Now let me just let everybody know, which I'm sure that are here probably know or were there last night. But I opened up with saying to everybody, look, I'm not tolerating any bullshit. I don't want anybody attacking her, belittling her, being disrespectful or rude, any of that type of shit. Like I didn't want any of that. We were there to have a respectful roundtable conversation and try to get some answers to things. So that's how I opened the show up. And for a while we held on pretty good, but you can also see where the irritation started on, I would say, on both sides. Well, you'll see where things started to get. And then when Gunner comes in, Gunner just came in full on Gunner. What does he say? FAFO, right? Fuck around and find out. Well, that happened. And that fucking happened. So let me see here. Pull it up. I was gonna call you, but I knew you were in bed. I didn't want to upset you and all that. And the husband. Hold on, wake the kids up. Tell you that we were just almost killed on the show because of Gunner. But I don't know at what point an emergency is warranted for you. What is imminent danger for one of your friends to call you past 9 o'clock?
Somebody's got to be dying, or CPS literally has to be standing at your front door.
It was close. It was damn close.
You could have called me.
Oh man! All right, let's see. History. Let's see what we got here. All right. Okay, Warriors. History. Let's go to history. History. Well, I was learning some good stuff today on some AI here. All right, let's see. Here we go. Oh my God, where'd you go, Tiffany?
I'm here.
Look. Tiff, I can't. You're okay with it. Oh, CPS. I tell you, it was odd playing these videos. When you know that someone's on the other side. All right, here we go.
Offspring a reward from him.
That,
This suggests children are a precious gift from God to be valued and cared for.
In the United States, a child a minute is taken into DHS, CPS, and so on custody. The reality is their pics are already selected, you just don't know it. Being perfect no longer matters. It's what the adopting families are looking for.
All right, let's see here.
So and to understand, contribute to the safety. When I started, I had 30 families.
Herbert, you're the one that put this whole thing together, Herbert. So do you want to give an intro to our guest for tonight?
Sure, I'd like to give an intro. I happened to meet Debbie through some mutual friends, and I said, would she be interested in coming on? They said they weren't sure because a lot of CPS workers really don't want to get involved outside of the job. And she, after talking to her a little bit, let her know what a lot of parents are going through, and that every state is different on how CPS is handled. It's not federally across the board, but everything. Some things are, some things are not, but it's also individualized on how people handle situations. So I asked her if she would like to come on the show. I sent her one of our shows. She viewed that, and she agreed to come on.
Right on.
Now
That's awesome.
she won't be showing her face,
Yeah.
but she will answer all of our questions about things that we have concerns about, right, Darren? Like as children are given away, as CPS makes money, and the bonuses that CPS workers make, all of that stuff, she'll be able to address. She's very transparent.
Very good. I mean, see through. Vinny, you have anything that you want to say before we bring her out?
I just hope that all you watchers out there are heeding this warning that we are giving you on being professional and asking professional questions, because it is beneficial for us to get answers that we may not get from other workers. So this is time for us to ask appropriate questions of this caseworker and be very respectful to her for coming on tonight.
All right. That's good stuff, Vinny. It's really good stuff. Well, to no avail. Miss Debbie Jackson, here she is. She's out here, folks. But Debbie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. I thank you guys so much for having me.
You're very welcome.
Honestly honored to be on your show. I am so grateful to help some of these families kind of navigate our system. And, I can't talk in regards to good cop, good caseworker, bad caseworker, good doctor, bad doctor, but I can absolutely 100% help in regards to navigating some of the systems that we have. So I can't wait for some of these questions. So let me know.
All right. Herbert, your guest, buddy. You want to start with the question for her?
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to, Debbie, if you would explain to us your background and skills and experiences that you have had working with parents and children.
So I have been in Child Protective Services for the past 6 years. I have worked directly with families in regards to investigations, meaning, a report has been made, an allegation has been made in regards to child abuse and neglect, and we go out and figure out if that allegation is true or not. And then we determine next steps in regards to, what those findings may be. I've also worked in regards to intake, determining if those reports, those allegations meet our criteria, of if those are actually plausible. If a person calls in and says XYZ has happened, do those meet our criteria of, is that abuse and neglect, or does that meet our law or our policy of getting involved with the family? So I have several years of experience. I have taken a child into custody and successfully reunified that child with their family. So I'm pretty well versed in our system.
I'm just curious, how many cases does?
What's your thoughts so far, Tiff?
Well, the first thing is, I'm really curious as if she's going to come on the show. Why doesn't she just show her face?
I do not have the answer to that question. I don't know why she doesn't. I'm going to go on maybe for security reasons or something. I don't know. Maybe because her work doesn't allow her to. I don't know. The only one that might be able to answer that is Herbert. So Herbert, if you're there, if you could tell us why she wanted to not disclose where she's from and what her looks are like and so on. If you want to disclose it, that would be probably helpful to a lot of people. If you can't, then so be it. It is what it is. But Herbert, if you have that answer, you could type that up there. That'd be cool. Okay. All right. Next, Miss Tiff.
No, that's it. Only because when I brought my lawyer on here, she didn't She didn't hide behind a camera.
Right? No, hey, I'm with you. All right, let's hear what she has to say. And then we'll flip it up to the.
Does a caseworker have average?
When I started, I had 30 families.
Jesus.
30 families, 30,
Wow.
30 individuals, not only the mother, the father, the individual child, the foster parent, that I had to meet individually every month to determine their safety, to determine their quality of life, to determine their services that they're receiving. 30 families.
Now, you know that I'm law enforcement. I told you that, retired law
Yes.
enforcement. Have you ever had the opportunity where you had to have a law enforcement
that hasn't fed her kid in 6
Circumstances. So it could be substance use.
doing very well in it, then have a baby? Are you normally supposed to take? Wait, it skipped. What does it say there, Vinny?
Are you normally supposed to take the newborn baby without even looking into services completed?
It very well depends on the history with the family. So if the family is very engaged, actively in any kind of mental health, substance treatment, it depends on their level of engagement and their level of success that they're, able to have a child remain in their custody. I've seen cases where a newborn baby is able to go home with their parent despite their parent having other children in the pot. They're eating.
Right. This is a question I want to get to here.
Is where they're at, and trying to incorporate, ultimately, the safety of that child. Is a child eating? It doesn't matter if they're eating at a table, if they're eating out of the pot. They're eating.
Right.
Are they receiving the education in the home, or are they receiving the education at school? Yes. Are they receiving medical necessity, or is it depending on the family's belief system? They don't have to be vaccinated. They don't have to have those criteria to be healthy. Are you meeting those needs of the child to really make sure that they're safe? So making sure that those basic needs are being met is 100% a lot of the determination of a caseworker.
So, if you don't mind, if we could reverse this, you had said that you've been into the intake and everything. What are some of the criteria needed to meet the standard of abuse and neglect? Like, what is it when they make the call? What do you have to find somebody, substantiate somebody as far as abuse and neglect goes, to kick this thing off? What is it that you guys look for?
So we're going to reverse that a lot. So it's not even in regards to a substantiation or indication of abuse or neglect. We're going to determine that it meets criteria for a caseworker to be even involved.
Okay.
And states differentiate. There's so many different criterias from one state to another. One state might become involved just due to simple marijuana abuse or use. One state may become involved in regards to the form of physical punishment. It differentiates from state to state. It is not a federal, it is not state to state. It
Right.
depends on the individual state in regards to what their criteria is. And so a lot of families should ask why the department is involved. Why does this report meet criteria in regards for a caseworker to be involved with the family? You know, should it be substance use? Should it be domestic violence, the exposure to domestic violence? Should it be the extent of physical discipline? Should it be sexual abuse? It depends on the level of abuse that is occurring for a department to get involved.
Now, is that determined by, I know you said it's state to state, but are those things determined by, let's say you have a chart that says, okay, it's met these 8 things out of 10, or is it kind of up to the person that is talking to determine this stuff?
So there is a minimal criteria.
Okay.
There is a standard decision-making model for most states in regards to it meets criteria in regards to XYZ. So the state that I work for, which I'm not going to disclose, is physical abuse to a certain degree. Is it going to be a bruise or injury is left? You know, physical abuse to an extent. You can spank your child, but you can't leave a mark. Or you can spank your child, it can leave a mark, but to an extent. Whatever that state determines is the level of discipline. And that's just an example. That determines if a caseworker even gets involved.
All right, so you have a question from one of our viewers. She said, why would a brand new drop cord powering a outlet side porch light be a hazard to an almost 16 and 14-year-old?
I apologize. What was that?
One of our watchers here, Cricket, asked, why would a brand new drop cord powering a outlet side porch light be a hazard to a 16 and almost 14-year-old?
I don't know what state that's in. It depends on the state. It depends on... So the state that I worked in, not necessarily would it be something that meets our criteria to be involved in. A 14-year-old is a child that can make safety decisions. It really all depends on the state, and honestly, you should really ask the caseworker involved why that met criteria.
That's huge. Is that a standard thing that you can do? Is there like a complaint or a question form or something that these people could ask? Do they do a FOIA, or is it just a blatant, just ask them point blank what the problem is?
Absolutely. You should ask your caseworker, what is the safety concern? Why is my child not safe in my care? What can I do to mitigate that issue?
Right. So
Can I fix that drop cord? Yeah, let me do that in the next couple days. Let me fix that issue in order to make sure my child doesn't come into child protective custody.
Yeah, that's something that we never talk about. We never talk about this in the original question. We never ever talk about at the beginning, because a lot of this can be nipped in the butt, right? If you just did that.
100%. If a caseworker is involved with you, what can I do from the get-go? What can I do to make sure my child does not come into custody? What can I do to ensure my child stays in my care, or in my partner's care, or my former partner's care, to make sure that they're not in the system? Me personally, the state that I work for, we don't want children. We don't want children in our custody. We do not have the caseworkers. We do not have the foster parents in order to provide the level of care for a child that a child deserves. We do our best. We 100% do our best. We make sure that they're fed, they're clothed, their basic needs are met, that they're safe. We do our best, 100%. But every parent has the right and the responsibility to take care of their child. And we want to ensure that that happens.
Man, I wish you were one of every caseworkers.
I have a question for you. Are you familiar with some of the states other than your state?
I'm familiar with some of New England, yes.
Oh, you're familiar with New England? Okay. So,
So-
like, you know about Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, Massachusetts, Connecticut, places like that?
Some of it, yes. To an extent, yes.
So
Okay.
how do you feel about the way caseworkers are handling cases in Maine?
Like I said, in regards to good cop, good caseworker, bad caseworker, good doctor, bad doctor.
Gotcha.
Everyone, I don't think that people go, I can't speak for everyone. I cannot speak for everyone. I can speak for myself in regards to I did this job not with any kind of malicious intent. I want kids to be cared for to the best of my ability, to the best of the parents' ability, and I will try to provide any kind of service that will encourage that. However, due to lack of resources, sometimes that's not available. And it is so unfortunate, whether it be for the parent or for the child. I if I could, I would have every service available, whether it be mental health, whether it be substance abuse, whether it be just the simple case management. Just having a support system for a family is massive. And hopefully, I hope a caseworker, whether it be CPS, whether it be, private, is just there to just support and say, hey, you're doing a good job. Let's see how we can support you to do even better.
Wow, that's awesome. You know what? There's so many people out here that are watching this right now. They're like, where is this woman and why was she not my caseworker? I'm being perfectly honest. Like, I'm watching these questions come up and they're just like, wow, because you're what it's supposed to be. You are when they set the system up, when they put the funding to it, when they did all of this stuff, what you operate and function by is the way that the system's supposed to be. It's supposed to be let the parents parent and let the department assist these people to come through their times of need or whatever the situation is. Let us help you so that you can be a better family. And it just seems like, and unfortunately, people like you aren't, you're not what we're seeing out in this workforce. And like you said, you can only speak for you. So it must kill you when you hear things and you hear people having animosity towards you and hear people being angry towards the department. And you're like, what are you talking about? Like, I want this, and this. But because there's so many bad cops, as you would say, or it seems to be so many that are just not caring about families and care about a paycheck, that it's got to be hard for you to take this as a job and be like, shrug that off every day because you must get it a lot.
100%. And I've heard, like, for every child that comes to care, or for every child that's adopted, or for whatever, you get a bonus or you get, any kind of incentive. And that is not the case. My incentive is to keep a child with their family. I want to reduce the trauma as much as possible. I want a parent to be able to parent. I want to, like I said, mitigate the amount of stressors or exterior just issues that cause a parent to not be able to parent safely or it just, I've worked with a lot of families. I've worked with a lot of parents where I'm like, you can you can parent. I know you love your kid. I know you have the potential to be able to care and love your kid and be able to protect them from, you know, any kind of outside sources, but have these barriers in place, whether they be lack of services or another individual who has just, you know, become involved in their life that is, you know, a boundary or an issue that, you know, keeps them from their kid. And it's so infuriating. Um, it it really is. Like I really, I know the love that these parents have for their kids, and be able to protect them from, you know, any kind of outside sources, but have these barriers in place, whether they be lack of services or
Darren.
another individual
Yes.
who
Darren,
has
go to
just,
Gunner.
Yeah.
Go to
you
Gunner.
know,
And then I want to talk
become
about some of the stuff
involved
that
in
she
their
said.
life that is,
Yeah, I'm reading the script. That's what I'm doing
you
right here.
know,
I got it for you. I'm gonna send it
and
right now.
a boundary
Yeah.
or an issue that, you know, keeps them from their kid. And it's so
All right. Why don't you go ahead and speak right now?
infuriating.
What you think so far?
Yeah, just go to Gunner for a minute.
It really is. Like I really.
Oh. This is 21 hours, 4 minutes today. Get
You know, I did XYZ, you've done XYZ. Let's navigate the system so that we can make sure your kid is back in your care. And like I said, it's called oh, I apologize. Parents as partners.
However, it does mean that to get a kid to be adopted, you have to take them. So in that back for reunification. So we're both mad at the same thing. And let me clear up the
You can do this. You can do this. Absolutely, you can do this. You can navigate the system. You can make sure that you're a safe and healthy caregiver, and you can have your kid back in your custody. That is 100% what we want. I don't want your kid in custody. I don't want your kid to be placed with someone, especially when we have such few foster parents and such limited resources. Like I said, I've stayed in numerous hotel rooms to make sure that a kid has a warm room and you know, food on their table, and make sure that their basic needs are being met. But that is no place for a child. I want to make sure that the child is placed back in their home. So to have that, you know, service available, their insurance, whether it be their food.
This thing comes from the Families First Act, which they said that you'll get incentivized, not you personally, but the department or whomever gets incentivized to adopt out a child within X amount of days. If they do it within a certain amount of time, they get a $4,000 bonus. That doesn't mean it's you. It goes to the state, it goes wherever. But that bonus is given out there, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's you personally. However, it does mean that to get a kid to be adopted, you have to take them. So in that realm, looks like it is incentivized for taking a kid. That's the way.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't think it's that. And
I'm just telling you about the way that it looks from this side of us, like the angry parent side.
Yeah,
like, that's the way.
I can see where you're coming from, but also like you have a child, you want to.
So amounts of money out for this stuff, they're just not dispersing it in the way that it should be dispersed. Right? Is like that seem to be the problem?
What do you mean? Where you?
Well, if you look at Title IV funding, in order to stay in line with the Title IV funds, you're supposed to, number one, reunification always has to be the goal.
Right.
That doesn't happen in a lot of these things. So, you know, it seems like there's a lot of jumping the gun, or if not. But anyway, there's a ton of money out there, but it seems like the people that are your bosses, they're not spending this money in the right way. Like, because you're not getting it, like you're saying, you need more funds. well, there's billions and billions and billions of dollars going into this department. It should be easy for you to get this stuff, but it's not. So like, there's your frustration.
I think you're looking at it wrong. I think you're looking at it not from like the department has funds. I think it's like the people who are qualified to provide the service and the level of burnout. Not us as CPS. My background is I am
People's constitutional.
just politics, if you will. There's so many people who want to help others and can't afford it.
Right.
You know, my background is I have a bachelor's in psychology and I am licensed as a social worker. So I meet all of the criteria to be a social worker.
So you're comfortable with being trained to violate people's constitutional rights?
Oh,
Jesus,
pause. I don't know. I don't like that.
Of course you don't.
Whether you like it or not.
Pause.
That's right. Get her,
Your
got
hard
her.
evidence has already been presented, ma'am,
No,
in your
I
own
don't
policies and
no.
procedures.
I'm gonna pause you because my ethical background is to make sure that I help individuals.
Yes, that's the great push that they take
pause.
and use, ma'am.
I'm not done. I am
Well, this
here.
is called debate where we come back and forth, and you put me on pause,
But I
which is
haven't-
interrupting me to
I
get your
haven't-
viewpoint out, ma'am.
I haven't finished what I was talking about.
Because you talked over me, and you didn't let me finish.
Okay, go ahead. You go ahead.
So it's as simple as it's printed in your policies and procedures as well as your handbooks that you violate constitutional rights, such as entering a home. You realize that according to federal case law that you're not allowed to enter anybody's home without a warrant or a court order, and it has to be issued by a Title I or Title III courtroom, is
Sir,
first off. And that
I've
anything
never-
else, that if you
sir.
do not have a warrant or a court order or extenuating emergency, which under the case law, now understand this is federal case law, anything else is called coercion, ma'am.
Sir.
But how much training have you had to get past that front door?
Sir.
And don't lie to me, because I already know who you're getting the training from, nationally.
Sir, I have never entered a home ever in my life without an offer. 100%. No one.
That's bullshit.
I have warrant or otherwise, I have never entered a home without someone offering me to become in their home. I
I'm glad you said that.
I
Because
have
federal case
never-
law specifically says anything other than not having a warrant or a court order or an emergency is called coercion to enter. And it is a direct violation of the Fourth Amendment right, ma'am.
Okay.
You do realize you just walked right into that, and because federal case law says and define that, under the Chevron doctrine, you guys were getting away with this.
I don't know what you're talking about because I've never entered a home without.
But what did you say? Go ahead, say the rest.
I
What'd you
said
say?
I've never entered a home without someone allowing me,
Allowing.
or offering me. Yes.
Okay. So
Without
they invited
offering
you over.
me, without
Or were you
offering
following up
me,
on an anonymous phone call?
I apologize.
Were you following up on an anonymous tip or a phone call when you made those entries, and then you coerced your way into the house? Because
No,
under that federal
sir.
case
I
law,
have. No,
you
sir.
cannot be
Listen.
invited, because unless they called you there, ma'am, that goes to intent.
Listen, sir. I have always called the family, explained the reason why I am involved, requested meet with them in person, and then have been offered to come into their home. I have never coerced a family to say, I need to come to your home. I need to gain entry to your home in order for this to be determined inappropriate or what have you.
You're telling me part of
I
it.
have
Then you need to tell me at least what state you're from.
I apologize, sir, because I have not done speaking. I have always informed. No, excuse me, sir. I have always informed my families that I have worked with why I'm involved and what next steps that I need to do to determine.
You need to do.
Okay. So, sir, you've already determined that my job is invalid. So, I cannot answer your questions without, like, you. I'm just.
All right, Darren. Let's talk about this for a minute.
The whole point is to help the families to get back and stay with reunification and have that both sides of the aisle type thing. The point is this: there are good social workers out there. There are people that want to take and truly help these families. But the point is, that's not the motive that is being given by your higher ups.
Oh, I'm trying to do it.
Even all the way up to the state.
You have already determined that my job in itself is unethical.
It is.
There we go. I got it. All right. What you got, Tiff?
So, take it down so I can see you.
You want to see me?
Yeah. I'm definitely going to have to watch the whole thing tomorrow. First of all, CPS cannot get involved in education. One of the Supreme Court rulings was parents have complete control and custody of their children, their discipline, and their education, not CPS. And I love when Gunner went in on her because I'm telling you, anytime a CPS worker's mouth is moving, they're fucking lying.
Right.
I don't believe her. And I'm sorry, Harold. She's not being forthcoming because you cannot follow state law under the Family First Act, which is in all the states too, because it comes from the federal government. She knows that they're getting money. It also blows me away that she said that she has a bachelor's degree in psychology, and they're ripping kids out of homes. If that were the case, you know for a fact that does more harm than good.
Yep.
She is not oblivious to what we're talking about. I'm telling you right now. Because she does not want to come up against me with the 154 cases that I have, because it doesn't matter if parents are doing drugs. The Supreme Court has already said drug abuse alone is not enough to remove a child.
Yep.
Oh, she's got me fired up. I'm glad Gunner got her. I'm glad, because he's absolutely fucking right. They do violate our rights. And how ironic is that we showed that the president-elect has already said the departments he's coming for, and one of them happens to be Department of Human Resources, because they violate civil and constitutional rights.
Yeah.
She's a fucking liar. So the day we do this interview with her, you better tell me now, because I got to take CBD and some motherfucking passion flower. I'm going to lose my shit.
That's why, you know what, you lose it. I mean, it's so hard to be in this situation because, first of all, like I said, that's our enemy. So you automatically have the bias about that. It's very hard to keep your emotions out of this. But in reality, what we need to get to are the answers to these things. I'm not sitting there saying I condone what she does, that I like what she does, that I think she's a great person, any of that shit. What I'm saying is she does hold on to valuable information that we could possibly use down the road to stop this from happening to some families. If we can't access that because we're angry about information that she's given out now and lies and so on and so forth, we're going to blow our one shot that we have.
No, we're not. Because we need to change our strategy now anyway. Once this administration goes in, we need to learn everything that they're going to do and what they need to pursue Department of Health and Human Services. Yeah, because one way or the other, they're coming down. I'm working with 2 senators here in Virginia and one in Delaware who's my brother-in-law. Oh, they're coming down.
Oh, that's it. Listen, I don't have a website, aboliscps.com, for no reason.
And here's the thing. We will never, ever be able to get rid of them. And it's only because there are children out here who truly need to be protected, okay?
How many, though? For real, let's talk about that. How many kids are there really out there that need our help?
1%.
Right. You're telling me that the towns and the people, look at, when we were growing up, if there was something wrong with one of the kids in the neighborhood, we were at each other's houses and everything, and one of the parents that you'd go sleep over with would be like, hey, Darren, you all right, man? What's going on at home? Like, they were genuinely concerned about it. They fixed it. If your parents were problems or whatever, they would try to do what they could to help you, and so on and so forth. Some people went and stayed with their friends, like whatever. They handled it amongst themselves. We didn't need a government entity to do that because people knew what the hell they were doing. And they respected that. You know, like if you were getting beat up by your dad or your mom, you would go stay at your buddy's house for a couple weeks till things cooled off. That was it.
And who the fuck can write on a piece of paper to say you're fit or this child is abused? Do they have a crystal fucking ball?
Right. Yeah.
No. And I've seen that paperwork. It's in my daughter's file. They lied all over it. My daughter's file is this thick and it was only 60 days old. Over 300 pages.
Yep. Yeah. I could go through the first 9 months of my narrative. Like, there's over 275 errors that she's missed. Not even errors, blatant lies. Over 257 of them out of 300 pages. So go figure. You know what I mean? Like, it's hello, but they don't want to hear it.
She kept saying, oh, we don't want your kids. Somebody should have asked her what the basic needs, what the law says the basic needs are, because I will tell you, food, clothes, and shelter. 3 things.
She does say that. And she said her state is not a requirement to take kids from drugs. She says that that's not enough to take whatever state, because she wouldn't say which state she's in. She does say that. And she says, and then a couple of questions that people ask, like, is this enough? And they're like, in my state, it is not enough. Like, it's very difficult in the state, wherever she is, to take children. She was saying that it's got to be pretty much, you know, like she said at the beginning, she said, it doesn't matter what type of food it is, as long as it's something they're eating. That's all that matters. It doesn't have to be fucking gourmet. It doesn't have to be, she can be slopping in the kitchen, as long as it's food. You know, like that's, so she does give it that part. But what I just don't like the psychology thing. And then she goes on to say how she's been in the riffraff with everybody else and the hardships and everything, and I just don't. Something's skipping on that.
Let me tell you something. I've been doing this now for 35 years. Only the good social workers, you know who they are? They're the ones that saw the corruption and they got the fuck out. The ones that stay, they know about it and they continue to do it. In 35 years, I've never met one CPS worker that's done the right thing.
Jesus Christ.
I know that I've been doing it longer than her.
Oh, hell, she's only been doing it, I think she said 6 years.
Most CPS workers leave within 12 months.
She's only in the investigation. I think she's in the intake, I think she said. What, intake and the investigation portion or something like that? So she's only in the intake and the investigation. How has she been TPR parents?
Because she's lying. I'm sorry, Herbert, but your little girlfriend that you got on here, I'm pretty sure she's in Arizona. And I'm pretty sure that she's lying because I got a bullshit meter.
Oh, here she is right there on the thing. She just addressed us. Case for even said that parenting classes my daughter went to, she didn't learn, but they do not know what. Oh, that's Debbie Anderson. I'm sorry, wrong person. I thought that was her. but it's not. Sorry about
Oh,
that. But Debbie, yes.
and Herbert, the lawyer that I brought on, she is not my lawyer. I've worked with her on getting laws passed here in Virginia. So she's not my lawyer, and that's her livelihood, but she still showed her face, and she still talked about policies and procedures, and she still talked about the corruption, and she still talked about everything because she wasn't afraid to put her face out there.
What would be a reason that a caseworker would not put their face out there?
Because if somebody sees her face and they watch our show and she just happens to be in that state where they're at and she shows up at the door, do you think they're really going to let that bitch in their house?
No, I don't know the answer to that. They could be like,
They
oh,
better
that's
not
that
call.
Punisher.
They better not. I don't care. You can investigate me till the day is long. But you step 1 foot on my property and we got a fucking problem. You better talk to me from the middle of the fucking street.
Yeah. Maybe we should make those signs. Put them out on the road like the little kid signs. Do not cross this line.
That's the only thing they understand. That's why when I advocate for people all across the country, I tell them, go to Google and type up kid Bill of Rights, and you'll get a whole little thing of Bill of Rights just to teach kids, the Constitution for kids. And since they don't understand adult language, slap that shit on your front door and see if they can comprehend that.
Right.
It's so easy a child could read it.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with you. I agree with that 1,000%. We need to be teaching our kids this stuff back to a young age. Stop this bullshit that they're teaching them in the classes. We need to be teaching them their rights and everything else, not what they're doing now, talking about addictomies and all this other shit.
Well, it's about to happen because I saw a video today. Trump said, I'm getting rid of the federal Department of Education. He's bringing prayer back to school. And he pretty much said he's bringing the Constitution in there because he wants our kids that are in school right now to learn to love this country and stop letting these teachers teach the hate. The only way you can love this country is if you know what your rights are. Because once you learn that, that is your protective order against the government. Like I said last night, if I was a CPS worker or a child support agent, I'd be looking for another career because your jobs are going to be gone.
I really hope that that's the truth. You know, but there's a bigger thing here too. We eliminate this. There's going to be a huge. I'm firmly convinced that the economy of the United States is based on trafficking kids.
It is.
You know, like that's just, there's no way around it. There's too much protection for this topic. There's too much of this wide open out in the people's eyes that nothing happens to these people. You know, it's just too big and too real and too much in everybody's face, and no one does a goddamn thing.
No, this is how we fix that. It's I should have had a VA. It is when I was talking to the person I was talking to yesterday that I told you about, and we'll announce my big thing when it happens. But anyway, when I was talking to this person, I said it's so much common sense, but nobody wants to use it because they're not going to make the money. The common sense thing is stop giving the money to strangers. Start paying the people like me who take in my grandchildren and keep them in the family. The state's still going to make money.
I agree with you 100%. I believe that the families, why are these families, because she was talking about all the services, that there's not enough people out there to provide these services. So why is it that they're on a waiting list? Why aren't they getting, they should be getting the money from all these services to go do things on their own, to go find different service providers, not ones, because here's the bullshit thing. They say, oh, she was asked if, how she feels about when people go and get services on their own. And she's like, oh, I think that's great, and this, that, and this. Every one of us here knows that if you ain't got services on your own, they're telling you that they don't matter.
That's
unless you go
bullshit.
to their service, unless you go to their service person, they will tell you that it doesn't matter, even though that's not the truth. But the CPS worker will tell you that you cannot do that. You can't go get a drug test unless you go to their own doctors. You can't do any of that shit. When all of that's a lie.
And you know how you get that evidence in court? I don't care if you have an attorney. You file that shit from your doctors, your psychiatrist, your whatever. You file that shit 10 days before your court hearing, because if you don't file it within 10 days, unlike them who file shit the same fucking day and gets it heard, you make sure you follow your law 10 days before your court hearing, because once it is in that courthouse, it is in that judge's sight.
Yeah.
Oh, you got me fired up tonight.
Yeah, well, I didn't mean to. I told you.
And I don't mean to be ragging on Herbert,
No,
but Herbert has to understand something. When you've dealt with these people for 30 years, they're so predictable. I know how they talk. I know how they act. I know what they do in the courtrooms. I know what they say. I know all their little bullshit tricks, because what's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the same results. Or expecting something different to happen.
That's CPS. They do the same shit over and over and over and over again. It's a pattern. And I'm a pattern person. After the third time I saw what happened with somebody that I was helping, I said, oh, I'm going to start whooping that ass. And I started whooping their ass. No. Ooh, I'm fired up. I'm glad I'm not on there. I'm glad I wasn't on there last night.
Yeah, I mean, you want an ice rag for your head? You need one of those things, the nitroglycerin?
No, I'm good.
How the hell are you going to go to sleep now? You got your heart worked all up like this. You can't go lay down with your heart rate like that. You're going to have to take a walk around the block or something.
No, I'm just going to go take a nice warm shower because, I got to cool down.
Don't slow your heart down that fast. You got to check your heart rate. I'm just pounding.
And I'm glad Gunnar got her. I'm sorry, Herbert, but he laid into her. And you know what? He's absolutely right. They know they're violating our rights. And actually, I'm going to say that 80% of them don't even know what their own rights are.
Yeah. That's
And who is CPS to tell you don't have any rights? The government can't take your rights. They are not given to you by the government. They are given to you by your God. I don't care what God you believe in. Not only that, there's prostitution. There's rights. There's human rights. There's civil rights. Get the fuck out of here. Good God. Having a hot flash over here. See, even Herbert said, if they saw her face, they wouldn't let her in their house. You damn Skippy. But I can sniff them just like a cop. I sniff them bitches right out. So this is what I want everybody to do. I know we're going to have another show tomorrow. And is Cricket coming on tomorrow? Darren, can you hear me? Is Cricket coming on tomorrow? Okay. So this is what I want everybody to do. January 20th, after the inauguration, I want you to, because all the new senators and congressmen, they're all getting sworn in, all the new delegates, whatever. You all need to go on the website, find out who your delegate is, and start emailing them and reminding them that you are part of the reason their behinds are sitting in those seats, and they're all Republican and they swear they're for the family. We now need to tell them we need reform.
I agree with that. Oh yeah.
State, federal, it doesn't matter. Your new delegates, because you have state delegates, you have county or town delegates, whatever your little thing is called, because some places are called, in New Orleans, they're different. Providence or some shit. But this is not going to work if everybody doesn't do it.
Right. Don't talk about it, be about it.
That's right. Get her done, because I'm telling you, this administration is how we're gonna tear their ass up.
Yep, it sure is. Free education, Constitution.
What's the peanut butter
That's
fish
a kid's.
lesson?
That's a kid's lesson for teaching your kids the Constitution. It's got all
And you
kinds
can,
of good little.
yeah, and iCivics.com, I think I'm on that too.
Okay. Let's see, and then for adults, this one right here, I believe, is the.
Go to the National Archives for the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, the adult version.
All right, hold on. There's this one here that I'm doing right now. It's pretty good, but I'll go to the National Archives for Tiff. There's this one right here. This one, I believe, comes with a certificate and everything, and it's free. But what'd you say, the National Archives?
Yeah, the National Archives. That's the course I took. It's gonna cost like $10 just for you to download the book, and then you take the test, and if you pass, you get a certificate. I got mine.
She got hers. She got a certificate.
I sure did.
National Archives.
Yep, National Archives has the Bill of Rights and the Constitution on it. And then go to your state government website, and on all your state government websites are your state constitutions and Declaration of Rights.
National Archives kicks off 2 weeks of Constitution. Oh, it kicks off 2 weeks of Constitution. Program Civics for All. National Archives Constitution 101 course. National Constitution Center. No, that's one I just put up, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
National Archives studying the Constitution with primary sources.
Yep. Is Gunnar coming on your next show?
I don't know. I'm sure. I thought he might have come on this one. Oh, here we go right here, guys. This is the. I'll put this up there for you guys too. This is the National Archives link. It's got a bunch of the courses that you can take. I don't know. Are these free, or is there some free and some cost you money or whatever? Tiff?
The Constitution one is $10 just to download the book so you can read it. I printed mine because y'all know I'm blind as a damn bat.
Yeah.
But Hillsdale is another one, and all those courses are free. And if you pass, you get certificates. So if Hunter comes on tonight, tell Hunter I said, way to go.
I will tell Gunner that you were all on fire about him.
So Trump tasked Elon Musk and Levesque to lead the Department of Government Efficiency.
Dang.
Breaking news. Just came on my phone. Oh, my light's in the way. There you go.
Yep.
Those two people right there, and Levesque is all about the Constitution. That's why I like him so much.
Oh, Tiffany, we're going to do a course on the Constitution when we come back for after Christmas.
Yes. And I'm going to pull out my book.
Oh, boy. She's going to pull out the book.
Yep.
Wow, this one teaches you a lot. Principles of the American Revolution, presidency, wow.
It's got everything.
Yeah,
Civil rights, everything.
I bet you, wow. Wow. Okay.
And then if you guys want to take a free human rights course on what is human rights, that's a free course too. whatarehumanrights.com, I believe. I got a certificate for that too. It took me a couple hours because I do a lot of reading. But you guys probably aren't as blind as bad as I am, so you could probably just read it on your phone.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Wow, there's so much information out here. This is crazy.
Yes. This is what I did during COVID.
Looked up Constitution.
No, I just started taking quizzes. I knew that I could take them. I just never had the time until COVID hit. We were all stuck in our house.
Wow, this is crazy. Wow. Make sure you guys check out these sites because there's a ton of information on these things. And as we find some more, I'll put some more up there too. So we'll keep them going in these chats. So at least you'll be able to see them on the link for the room. I'll keep the chats going in here for you guys.
All right, make sure Cricket's coming on tomorrow so that we know what we're talking about. And I'm going to call my NAACP president. I forgot to call him today, but I'm going to call him tomorrow to see if he can come on Sunday night.
Cricket's coming on. All right. Well, I guess that's the way we're going to do things. Cricket, you heard what she said. You'll be here tomorrow night. Better recognize. And don't forget to check out these classes and these courses and the children's stuff right there. I'm going to go ahead and get ready for the next show that I'm going to have to stand up on for sure. And Tiff, what else you got to say? Anything? Everybody pray for Tiff tonight that she can go to bed at a reasonable hour because she's so worked up.
I just want everybody to understand. I like Herbert, but I think the CPS worker's full of shit. She knows more than what she's willing to talk about. And if you cannot be transparent, quite honestly, I don't even know if I want to talk to her.
All right. Hey. Oh, we haven't heard this one in a while. Nice. It's a good way to go with today.
The stories of our families once told by the ones on front of the fire growing.
You need to get this album out too of all the songs that I've written.
Yeah, you need to.
I do that too. I got a lot of work. Can't be here for more around.
No hesitation.
I get it. Did I see what?
Did you see my fur coat?
It taught you that you were
No.
never feel bad. You knew the trials and
Is
tribulations.
it that cold up there?
Your aunt, your uncle, you always knew who was who. Who was who. CPS, when they take the kids away, erase the heritage of the children they have gotten pay. These children don't know where they begin. They sure know the outcome, the end. CPS, you're destroying the family.
Is it that cold up there?
Yeah, it is.
These kids don't know who they
Wow.
are. They will never, in a blink of an eye, you eliminate what's
Yeah, it is nice. My husband has one that weighs like 25 pounds.
See, babe? Tiff husband has one too. Yeah, and he's like 6'2". You're 5'9". You can't wear one.
For you to get a bonus and arise so much drama.
All right, Tiff. Have a good night.
Never will
Good
they
night, your
know
fan club.
paved the way.
You're out.
Bye, everybody. See you tomorrow night.
To never hear the story, who their grandparent were, the sad times and the glory. CPS, walk away. CPS, not today. Please, we beg you, leave the kids alone. God bless you. How do you think you are, helping things out? You're causing more pain and agony, without a doubt. Why do you want to be the eraser of a family past given by the Creator? CPS, why do you play the role of God while so many families are truly breaking the law? Inflicting harm throughout the night. The children are scared to turn out their lights. So go away, don't ever come back. Go away, I want my parents, that's that. I don't belong in a stranger's bed, thinking all night, memories in my head of the only love I once had. It was from my mom and dad. Now I lay alone, listening to strangers fight, never hearing the words I love you, good night. So good job, CPS, you really helped me. Now I'm scared, I'm alone, I don't know who I am. I've been cast away, if I'm lost, no one knows. There is no family to find me. CPS took that away, it's all behind me. When I go to bed every night, I close my eye tight, tight, tight. And through the tears I see my mom and dad, wishing they were here. I am so, so sad. You ruined my
In 1776, brave men put up a fight, mowing down redcoats, they wanted freedom. They had to fight, and now we take the sacrifice in vain. They loaded their muskets, fired them one by one. That's why we have the freedom to own a gun, but we are blowing it. These freedoms were created by those before us. They were to be something that stays. But now things are so corrupted, they're taking our rights away. Hey, Uncle Sam, where did you go? I called Washington today, but nobody's home. We all want to stand for our freedom, but nobody wants to do it today. Can't you see time is a waste and the Constitution we love is fading? Make no tread on the reality, or the USA will be the next casualty. We are here for freedom, those we will protect. Unite for the values we cherish, or watch everything perish. Our men have fought for our freedoms, many women have too. Their blood spilled upon the ground, with the news many frown. They paid a price that many won't pay, now we are letting the cause fade away. The graves are being neglected by the actions of so many deceptive. The freedoms they fought for in every world war, conflict or mission, so many stayed behind signing petitions, while those away dying were there to protect them. It's time to wake up in the USA. We are all slipping away into the darkness we once ran from. It's getting worse every day. Now they are taking our children more and more every day. No soldier ever fought for taking our children away. This is not why they bled for our freedom. They didn't die for some cheap pay. We all need to come together, fight this corruption, and it starts today. We need to wake up America, go back to parades, remember true family values, laugh again as children play. These are the things we fought for, 200 years strong, but now we're losing all of this. Don't tread on me does exist. So rise up and be strong. We don't have to go along. We need to push back now, like our forefathers did. It's time to bring back the way it was, when families lived together, all that mattered was love. It's not always easy to take back what they have grabbed. With all of us together we can do it, two loving children and mom and dad. This is our country, it's called USA. So many have fallen, say don't tread on me today. It's time to wake up in the USA. We are all slipping away into the darkness we once ran from. It's getting worse every day. Now they are country, it's called USA.